Hi, I'm Joni Hubert-Golden, and this is the Kmart property, a very large piece of property that stands at the gateway of Farmington and Farmington Hills that has been vacant for a very long period of time and now stands on the precipice of redevelopment. Today we're going to talk with Farmington Economic and Community Development Director Kevin Christensen. We're going to look at the property from the tile shop to the abandoned Kmart building to the recently vacated Shell station. We're going to talk about what's happening here and what this place might look like once the dust clears. So Kevin, tell me what's important about this corner?
Well, Joni, I'm glad that you asked. This is the Kmart Center site, as it's affectionately known. Its proper identification is the River-Halsted Plaza, and it is one of the larger development sites in the city of Farmington. It is an old shopping center site that has been mostly vacant for the last 7 to 8 years. The main use here, the primary tenant, has been Kmart over the years, although there were other uses. There was a grocery here before. When it was built for that purpose and other uses at that time, but Kmart was the long-term occupant and certainly was the last major tenant here. Since Kmart left, there were probably a handful of businesses that remained, and those businesses that remain include the tile shop, the Gift of India, which is a grocery. There was an old restaurant that was here, or older restaurant. Lynn's Kitchen was here for a while. They've been repurposed as chutneys, Indian vegetarian cuisine, and still exist here at the center. Two other uses that were part of the larger building, units that were attached, were the Diamond Boutique, and there was a Coney Island, yesterday's Coney, and they have both subsequently closed as well. So the tenants that really remain here, there's only two: the tile shop and Chutney's restaurant. The site itself is about 14 acres.
Wow.
And the construction on the site, which consists of two buildings, the east building, which has the tile shop in it, and then the southern building, which is the former Kmart building, total about 150,000 square feet. And the site has been a focus of planning for redevelopment here in the city of Farmington.
Now tell me about I understand there was a split, so that there are actually four different lots here, is that correct?
That's correct. The owner of the property, Thomas A. Duke and Associates, Tom Duke, approached the city about repurposing and redevelopment of this site here about a year and a half ago. And we've had quite a bit of dialogue during that time about what opportunities exist and what really the redevelopment potential is. And through a series of concept plans, looking at some alternatives, discussing some ideas, Tom Duke came forward to the city with a proposal to split the 14-acre site. It's currently one site, but to split the site into 4 separate sites. And they made application, provided the required documentation and information, conceptual plans as well for what really their intent was to the future, although the proposed land division or lot split really isn't dependent upon a concept plan. Showing those concepts to the city, to the Planning Commission, to the City Council really gave the community an understanding of what their intention was, and also in terms of what really they were looking to do to repurpose the site. So with that, the lot split, the land division that was proposed, went through a public hearing of the Planning Commission and also went through a review and approval of the City Council. And the City Council approved the land division, separating the site into 4 separate sites by resolution a couple months ago. And since that time, Tom Duke and Associates has been moving forward with redevelopment plans that will move forward with a plan unit development for the property. The 4 separate parcels now will be the tile shop. The tile shop's about 30,000 square feet of the 150,000 square feet of construction on the site. It will remain, and if you look at the tile shop's actually had a repurposing itself. There has been interior modifications and upgrades that have been done, and you can see the exterior facade has been upgraded as well. So the intention then is for the tile shop to stand on its own and to remain on its own site. The construction to the south of the tile shop is intended to be removed, demolished. and that then will be part of the southern portion of the property. The entire Kmart building that we see here will be demolished as well, and the southern half of the site will be its own site as well. Where we're standing right now, to the west of the tile shop, will be its own site. The intention here is to develop a mid-rise building that will be mixed use, that will have retail on the first floor and office on the second and third floor, so a 3-story building.
Now, when you say mid-rise, what does that mean? What does that look like?
Well, when we say mid-rise, it refers to a building that is more than 1 story.
Okay.
In this case, the intention is 3 stories. It's not a high-rise,
Gotcha.
like 15, 20
Right.
stories plus,
Right.
but is in scale here with some of the construction in the city of Farmington, which certainly has been mid-rise construction as well. One of the things that we don't have of here in the city of Farmington is more land.
True.
You know, we're a built-out environment, as I indicated earlier. Most of our construction during the time period of the 60s and 70s and into the 80s. So what we have to look at is the redevelopment potential of sites. And looking at the redevelopment opportunity, we look to try to repurpose with the maximum or optimum type uses and with the optimum type of construction to facilitate those uses. So we look at taking advantage of vertical construction. So mid-rise here would be a 3-story building, retail and office, and it would be the second portion of the site. So tile shop, now this area to the west. The third portion of the site is what I just mentioned here, the southern half, which is the Kmart building. The intention there is to raise that construction and to locate a new distribution center, a vehicle preparation and distribution center for the suburban collection. So Thomas Duke and Associates, Tom Duke, is coordinating with the suburban collection to come in and to repurpose the southern half of the site for a distribution center where vehicles would be brought in by carrier. They would then be staged, they would be prepped, they would be parked on the site prior to distribution to the various suburban collection dealerships throughout the area. Again, the site we're standing on, mixed use of retail and office. There's a fourth portion, as I mentioned, because there's 4 splits.
That's right.
That is a smaller piece that'll be to the west side of the site here, south of the Shell gas station. The smaller piece, the intention there would be either to develop it on its own, most likely with a commercial use, either a retail use or potentially a restaurant type use, and or there has been discussion and interest by Tom Duke to purchase the now vacant Shell gas station, which is on the southeast corner of Grand River and Drake here in the city of Farmington. It's been closed for several months now, and I am of the understanding that it's currently being marketed for sale. And so whoever purchases it will have an opportunity to look to redevelop that site. There's a possibility of reuse, repurpose, and or as the interest, as I understand it, that Tom Duke has, is to potentially purchase it and to raise the gas station and to combine it with that smaller piece, making a fourth or larger piece here on the site.
Okay.